What up, people? Welcome to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring a very pissed off Mike Steph, best in the world at what he does. I don't even know where to begin. Yes, this will actually be a full-length episode because I'm not going to concentrate on just talking about this team that I wear on my crown, this team whose jersey this teddy bear has, this team that has engulfed my life with such misery for the last 42 freaking years. I'm actually going to talk about other teams of the city, other teams of my fandom, other teams that probably deserve more of the time that I plan to give on this podcast, on this platform, but yet I will probably give the majority of my time venting and kvetching about my New York Jets. So I'm going to let you know exactly what's on deck this week, as once again, I'm recording at 1 o'clock in the morning, and my lovely wife, is in the room, probably trying to get herself ready, or hopefully sleep. Hopefully I don't wake her up, trying to get herself ready for the work week. And my lovely daughter Kay is trying to get herself ready for her school week. And my son Chef Mix is in there watching who knows what on Peacock, I believe 2007 No Mercy for some godforsaken reason. But regardless, I'm going to be here. And I'm going to talk about my New York Jets and their embarrassing loss this week. Tonight in Pittsburgh. I'm going to talk about my New York Metropolitans, who unfortunately bowed out of the MLB postseason, but at least they got to the NLCS, Game 6 at least. And I will give a couple words on the New York Liberty, who have won their first ever WNBA championship in history. Do you know that they're actually one of the original teams of the WNBA, of the inaugural WNBA season all the way back in 1997? Rebecca Lobo, T. Witherspoon, you know those people? Yeah, so they actually won tonight. They actually won in the borough of Brooklyn. Coincidentally, about 15 minutes away from me. But unfortunately, that smell of success, that smell of championship aroma, that smell of champagne popping didn't waft its way over the Crown Heights. Didn't waft its way up to apartment. Yeah, you think I'm going to tell y'all my effing apartment? I think I'm going to tell y'all the street that I live on? But regardless, 15 minutes away, and I didn't get none of that smell. And it's not because my allergies are bothering me for a second straight week. I swear, I think my cousin Ooh got me sick. Even the Mojo King told me thinks I got him sick, even though we haven't been in contact with each other personally. We haven't recorded with each other. I recorded regardless. That's what's on deck this week. Hopefully, by the time I actually get this episode underway, I will actually lower my volume, because not only am I disturbing probably my household, I'm probably disturbing next door neighbors, I'm probably disturbing outside people and the like. So without further ado, let's get this issue on the road. Good night and goodbye. Bang!
Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hot the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music, mixed for living. Rep New York City, but ain't the politician. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the world of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission.
Jets get embarrassed again. This time they lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers by the score of 37 to 15. How shall I begin? I don't even know. I'm so scatterbrained over all the animus I have with this freaking team that I don't even know where to begin. Can I go back to the history? Should I go back to the history of failed experiments? The Leonard Marshalls of the world? The Steve Atwaters? The list of victims go on and on. Matter of fact, I wrote out a list. Steve Atwater. Remember that safety that was feared? Former Denver Bronco, came to the Jets, and legacy gone. Ronnie Lott. Remember, infamously, continued playing a football game with missing half his pinky. Three-time, four-time Super Bowl champion? Came to the Jets, done. Art Monk. Oh, remember the Art Monk era back in the late 80s, early 90s. Former Super Bowl champion with the Washington Redskins. Yeah, I said Redskins because they were the Redskins back then. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, this is not going to be politically correct. But yeah, Art Monk came to the Jets. We figured we are going to have Al Toon and Art Monk. Guess what? Art Monk, done. Oh, someone who's actually still living off the fame, or should I say the infamy, of their Jet tenure. Boomer Esiason, famous number 7. He didn't have a championship, but he was part of those Cincinnati Bengals teams. You know, the no huddle, the run and gun, the fast, pretty much just those Sam Rice teams that took they did get to the Super Bowl. They lost to Joe Montana, but regardless, he was one of those upper echelon quarterbacks. Was he even a former MVP? I can't remember. Came to the Jets, and then left us, went to Arizona, and actually carved out a somewhat decent tenure with Arizona. I believe back then they were still the Phoenix Cardinals. And he stayed in the New York area, and now he's part of Boomer and Geo on CBS News Network, Sports Network in WFAM in New York. But still, number 7, yeah, came to the Jets. Neil O'Donnell. Who remembers Neil O'Donnell? Wasn't Neil O'Donnell part of the 1-15 team? Wasn't he part of that team that we threw all this money at him after his Super Bowl appearance with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Now, nobody thought that Neil O'Donnell was going to be the savior, but we didn't think he was going to suck. Bubby Brister and Neil O'Donnell, the 1-2 connection. How about this for a victim? As a matter of fact, he shouldn't even be classified as a victim because he got out of Dodge because he smelt it. He knew it was coming. He said, you know what? I'm getting the hell up out of here before this shit connects to me. And that's Bill Parcells. Do you know Bill Parcells damn near the only, if not the only winning coach in the history of the New York Jets? 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 He coached us for 3 seasons. 9-7, had a chance to go to the playoffs, lost in Detroit. 12-4, got within 30 minutes of the Super Bowl in 1998 until it fell apart in the Mile High city of Denver, Colorado. Then we started off the next year, I believe, 1-6 before he finally stopped being stubborn and stopped trying to make Rick Myra a thing. Put Ray Lucas in there, and we finished the year 8-8 after losing Vinny Testaverde the first half of the first game against New England Patriots, when everybody knew we was Super Bowl bound. And maybe if we would have put Ray Lewis in there earlier, just maybe we would have gotten to the playoffs, and who knows, because we still had that core intact. But he got the fuck out of Dodge and tried to give it over to Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick's like, I've been here long as you have. I smell this shit. I'm getting out of here too. And he's still, 30-some-odd years later, still plucking us. Al Groh, 1 year, 1 and done. 9-7, fuck up out of here. Brett Favre, when he wasn't spending time actually taking dick pics and sending them to Jennifer Sturgeon, he actually led us to an 8-3 record before he tore his bicep and refused to come out because, oh my God, where he actually break his streak, a consecutive game started. Oh my God, I can't have that on my resume. So I'm going to play with a torn bicep on my throwing arm. And we limped to the finish, 9-7 and gone. Currently, Tyron Smith. Maybe we didn't realize there's a reason why Dallas just said, you know what? Yeah, Tyron Smith. All right, look, love you, but you can go. And last but not least, Aaron freaking Rodgers. Aaron freaking Rodgers. This guy that I'm about to put on our screen right now. Him. I'm not going to lie. I was just telling Mr. Winchester, Mr. Brad Winchester, gimmick infringement, and longtime Green Bay Packer fan, how he let me know from jump, from last year, before he even got injured, that you have no idea what you're getting yourself into when you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers. And I was like, no. Listen, what happened in Green Bay? It was time for him to leave. Yeah, he's going to come to the city. He's rejuvenated. He has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, he's just going to be our savior. Oh, boy, was I fucking wrong. Yeah, my first F-bomb 11 minutes in. And guess what? It's probably not going to be my last. I'm going to try for it to be my last, but I make no guarantees. Now, I wrote down some notes. I wasn't really trying to write the notes, but I was watching this game and I was literally shaking in anger. And I was like, you know what? I gotta write these notes down so I know exactly where to focus my venom when I press that record button, when that red light goes on. We gave up 37 points to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I know y'all probably like, well, why are you embarrassed? 37 points to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only other time they scored over 30 points this season was last week, coincidentally, against the Las Vegas Raiders. Who we're connected to by Davante Adams through this trade. And also we're connected to him because both of us have a losing record at 2-5. So both of us are one of the dregs of the AFC. Regardless of that, Russell Wilson started his first game at quarterback for the Steelers this week. Do you know this mother effer hasn't even played a game since last Christmas? In a different uniform, in a different city, in Denver? The Jets' vaunted defense. Gave up 30 unanswered points. 30 unanswered points. Do you know at one time we was actually up 15-6? Yeah, we was up 15-6 with a little bit under 2 minutes to go in the first half, driving. And Aaron Rodgers decided to forego the check down, forego the fade route, which he had Davante Adams open. No, I'm going to try to stick it in the middle to Garrett Wilson. And he got, not only did he not connect, he got picked off. And not only did he get picked off, the momentum effectively stopped for us. We were driving. At the very least, we should have went into halftime 15-6. We should have had maybe the way we was moving the ball, quote unquote. We should have been up maybe 18-6 going to halftime. And best case scenario, we should have been going into halftime 22-6 with a chance to put the nail in the coffin because we got the ball back in the second half. Do you know, for at least the first quarter, the Pittsburgh faithful was booing the shit out of Russell Wilson because that's how horrible he played? They was this close to pulling his plug. That's close. That's fucking close. That's fucking close. All that gone. So not only did he throw the interception, of course, the defense cost it up because our vaunted defense can never get a stop when it really needs to. And we go into the half up 15-13, even though, quote unquote, we dominated the first half. We gave them a slither of hope. And meanwhile, it was almost like we went into halftime with that look, with that feeling of, oh no, here we go again. Here we go again. the momentum shifted due to none other than Aaron Rodgers. His mistake. Is he going to take responsibility? Is he going to hold himself accountable? He's gotten everything he's wanted. Everything. One of the unfortunate offshoots of Aaron Rodgers getting everything he wanted, Garrett Wilson, definitely off his game. Drops, 2 4-star penalties. What the natural fuck? What in the natural fuck is going on? You tell me. Aaron Rodgers can't move. Have y'all noticed, coincidentally, since he's had that ankle injury, since he's had that knee injury, the only reason I'm putting in quotation marks because he ain't on the fucking injury report, is he? We've gone exclusively shotgun. There was another team that went exclusively shotgun in the first week of the season, actually coincidentally against these same Steelers. And guess what they had in common with us? They had a over 35-year-old quarterback coming off of an Achilles tear injury. But at least they held the Steelers to at least 15 points. Us? Please. That's the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins. So we're strictly shotgun. So that means that pretty much makes our running game nil, right? Think about it. He can't move. We're 2-5. We're 2-5 for the season. We're currently riding a 4-game losing streak. Our last win was on a Thursday night against the New England Patriots, who coincidentally we meet and we play next week. Like whoop-de-damn-do. You know what happened today? Right before the game, right before kickoff. My oldest grandson called me, right? Without getting into too much specifics, he has an individual that lives in his house that's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Even though the mother F is from Virginia, but he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I believe he's turning my grandson against me because my grandson called me, and guess what he said? He said, "Pop, pop." I said, "Yes, baby." He was like, "Yeah, we about to play y'all. We about to play the Jets." I'm like, "Oh, we?" He's like, "Yeah. And in my Pee Wee League, we beat the Steelers. But yeah, the Steelers about to play the Jets. We about to beat y'all." And I'm like, and of course, that's my grandson. It's my oldest. So he'll be 9 in January. So as much as I want to be like, whoa, where you get this wheat shit from? I was like, oh yeah, I know, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a good game. You gonna play you gonna watch the game before you go to bed? He was like, "Yeah, pop. Is Gigi there?" I said, "Yeah." So I gave the phone to my wife, and they talked. But do you know, I was 50-50 on how I was supposed to feel. Part of me was like, "Mother effer, that's my blood. The fuck you tapping cheering against my Jets for?" But then another part of me, especially at the end of this game, I'm like, you know what? At least he's actually spared the misery that his pop-up has had to endure for 42 years. I even had my son, Chef Mix, who you've seen and heard over the years. Matter of fact, Mikey, or are you asleep? Yeah, he's probably asleep. He got the itis. But regardless, he was a Dallas Cowboy fan. I find that being very disloyal on two points. One, I raised all my kids to be Jets fans, and they flew the coop. Thankfully for them. And then he's finally flown the coop from the Dallas Cowboys. So not only did he fly the coop once, he flew the coop twice. This loyal guy of his. Anyway, But I asked him, why? Why? Like, I don't know. He like Romo. At least they got to the playoffs. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Another primetime game. Like, I swear, I'm tired of being the butt of the joke. This is the second year we've had all these primetime games early in the season, and not only have we lost in disgusting fashion. So now we're the topic of everybody's joke, everybody's podcast, everybody's a topic on First Take, Get Up, and the like. Colin Cowherd and that cocksucking show. And we have another loss. Our offense consists of dink, 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 dunk. And then this mother effer has the audacity to get upset is if he shuffles the ball at the last minute and it doesn't get any yards. Then he looks at them like, mother effer, they should put you in the fucking dirt. Yeah, I said it. Put you in the dirt, in the ground. And I'm not talking about that kind of dirt. Just talk about break his fucking nose or something. Put some fentanyl in the peyote. Motherfucker walking around here with the Bobby Brown Coke jaw. Don't look any further. This game was a beautiful juxtaposition between two teams, not only two teams, two franchises, two coaches, if you will. One is one of a winner, and that would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be Coach Mike Tomlin. I was telling my son, I'm like, listen, you know what kills me is the fact that I have no hate in my blood for Mike Tomlin. I respect that man to the utmost. 17 years, not one losing record, one championship to his resume, 2 Super Bowl appearances to his resume. He makes the most out of nothing that anybody has done. And as much as I would be envious and be like, darn, I wish I could have that dude on my team, I wouldn't even wish that upon him. What's his famous catch line? The standard is the standard. That's what the fuck we need over at Flowing Park. Do we have that? No. Are we ever going to get that? No. The standard is the standard. Yeah, the standard is the standard, and that's the stench. That's the smell of rot. 90 games in. Where the fuck is Joe Douglas, who I'll get into very, very soon? Like I said, the juxtaposition of the two franchises. One is a winner, and the other one is the Jets. One has to force to reel itself to success, and the other is the Jets. No matter who, no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, everything stays the same. Is this still Robert Saleh's fault? I'm asking. Fired the coach, and yet they still lost 2 more games. So, is this Jeff Albrecht fault? Who else is there to blame? Who else is there to take the blame? Who else is there to take the fall? It's damn sure ain't Joe Douglas. This motherfucker's had 2 acquisitions. One acquisition in Devontae Adams. And then we found out early this morning that Hassan Reddick was going to finally mosey his ass back to the team with his tail between his legs. And coincidentally, with the money that supposedly he lost and forfeited, guess what? They figured a way to give him his money back so he could ride out the rest of the season. The 2 big personnel moves, right? Where the fuck is Joe Douglas at? Is he the GM? Is he? If he isn't, who the fuck is the phantom GM? Aaron Rodgers? Who? Woody Johnson? Isn't Woody Johnson just trying to figure out, trying to help Trump get back in the fucking office, the Oval Office, so he can have his ambassadorship back to the UK? Maybe try to jig up a new concoction of the fucking yeah, y'all thought yeah, I caught myself. I ain't saying that word over here, so y'all can phantom ban me again. Sure, this is probably the first episode I'm giving y'all that's gonna be more than 40 minutes. Guess what? I'm not gonna get banned for this shit, but regardless, I digress. Woody Johnson is taking charge, and nothing's changed. Nothing. Joe Douglas never available. We still have holes everywhere on our roster. We have no depth. None. 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 We were supposed to be so stout up front. Guess what? Yeah, we got bodies. We just don't got talent. And then that's left us vulnerable in the back end because all our cornerbacks, all our safeties, pretty much all our defensive backs are dropping like flies. We lost 2 linemen today. We lost Vera Tucker to who knows what. Newman had to be taken to a hospital due to a neck and head injury. That's 2 linemen right there. We lost Tony Adams. We lost damn. I swear. I don't know why I'm blanking. Austin Davis. So I think that's his name. I forgot. Ashton Davis. That's right. We lost in the concussion protocol. Sauce Gardner tweaked his knee. I mean, what kind of defense are you calling? As soon as Adams went down, as soon as Sauce went down for those couple plays, y'all put the newest guy on their best receiver, that only fucking receiver in Pickens? What's your problem? This team is broken. Everybody's body language is horrible. Garrett Wilson's spirit is broken. And like I said, I wonder what effect has Aaron Rodgers had on the psyche of Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson thought it was one thing and ended up being something totally different. What effect has Aaron Rodgers had on everyone? Everyone. Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, ownership, everybody in the freaking building. Green Bay, no. Why do you think that they were so willing to say, you know what? He wants to go? Let him go. We got Jordan Love. We got Romeo Dobbs. We got Christian Watson. And more importantly, we got Mike LaFleur or Matt LaFleur. Green Bay is 5-2 this season currently, with a share of first place in the NFC North. Last year, they got to the divisional playoff round and was this close to getting into the NFC Championship without Aaron Rodgers. Their arrow is pointing up, up, up and away. Us? Our coaching is in flux. Our quarterback situation is in flux. Our receivers that we have, like our best receiver still is Aaron Lazard. What is there left? What's left for us? I don't know. 30 unanswered points. The team gave up. The defense, in particular, gave up. And that's a reflection upon whom? The players? The coaches? Or the whole organization as a whole? Because it's one thing to get beat. It's one thing to get beat giving you 110%. It's another thing when your heart is effectively snatched out of you. The Steelers went for it on 4th and 2 with under 2 minutes remaining in the game. They didn't pass the ball. You know what they did? They ran it straight down our throats. When the game was already in doubt, was never in doubt. It was 30 to 15. And they said, you know what? These mother effers don't have no heart, no will. We're going to push them and punch them right in the gut. Matter of fact, we're going to run it right down their throat. And that's what they did. There has to be some type of accountability. And I just don't know who. Maybe I should hold myself accountable. Maybe I should hold myself accountable because I'm just a glutton for punishment. Like I said on HGF, every week after week after week after week after week. I wear this jet paraphernalia. I put it on for my Jets. I say, you know what? Last week was last week, but this week we're going to start something new. And it's the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. So maybe I should hold myself accountable. Maybe I'm the fool. Maybe I'm the one who should do something different. But you know what? That's not the type of individual I am. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm cut from the cloth of you are who you are. You are who you say you are. You stand on your own too. And if you catch the lumps, you catch the lumps. But best believe when that opening happens, we'll be there. But even with that being said, why should I care more about the results than the actual team, than the actual organization that I root for? Like I said, it's like a plague. It's like a virus. 42 seasons. 42 seasons. I've been a Jets fan. By fate. By fate. I swear, it's enough to make me wonder, do I have a black cloud over my head when it comes to fandom? Even he's trying to hide. You saw him, he's like, oh no. Even he's trying to hide. Say hi, Jetty. Hi. Hi. Don't call me for teddy bear abuse. It's just, I had to get it out of somebody. Cloudy up there is giving me the side eye. Like he got a TCW on speed dial. That's what? Matter of fact, BTW, Bureau of Teddy Bear Welfare. I'm so glad my daughter doesn't watch my podcast because she would be pissed off. Nah, I love you. I know. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, I just I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. And I guess enough. I've already spent like a half hour talking about these mother effers. It's probably half hour too much. And I ain't gonna lie, I hate these late games because especially when they lose, because I got so much angst in me that even when I try to, you know what, I'll wait until tomorrow to record. Guess what? Gotta get this shit out. Or to New England. Oh my God. The Mets have lost the NLCS. Oh my God. What a season it was. Oh my God. The Mets lost the NLCS. Oh my God. Oh my God. OMG. Grimace. All that is over, at least for this year. The Mets lost to the Dodgers tonight in Game 6 of the NLCS to lose the series 4-2, but not before we've defied all the odds for most of the season and definitely all of October. And we were just one miracle short of a season filled with miracles. Today, our ace in the hole, Sean Mania, just didn't have it. He got batted early. And after he gave up his 5 runs in less than 3 innings or so, they just left us in a hole that we were not able to dig out from. You know, it's been almost 40 years since our last championship, and I'm talking about the New York Metropolitans. 1986 to be exact. Let's go Mets. But if you really think about it, at the end of May, did anybody think we would be at this point? I know when me and Smitty from the group over in Bergen Beach and the brother Zal, the brother Chucky, and them went to the game in May when they were facing the San Francisco Giants. We actually saw a piece of that magic. They defied all odds back then. Well, they defied the odds for me because for at least about 4 to 5 of those innings, I was chalking it up to another loss. I was chalking it up to this teammate shit, and I was chalking it up to well, shoot. At least y'all got beer to cleanse your palate. What do I got? Diet Coke. Don't look at me further. But yeah, back then they had a walk-off. They had a walk-off win. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, G.J. Stewart had a walk-off knock, and he was interviewed by Steve Gelbs, and the stadium went wild. And I was like, wow, I'm actually on a 2-game winning streak. 2 attended winning streak, which kind of snapped when I went down to the dirty. But even then, when I thought we hit rock bottom back then, and I made an emergency sprinkle of salt live going into Milwaukee. Matter of fact, midway through the Milwaukee series, when I just knew that we were not going to make the playoffs, that the Mets were going to Met. They proved me wrong. They proved all the naysayers wrong, and they proved all the believers right in riding this magical carpet ride that we've been on since September, and at least by record rise, we have been the best baseball team in the league since the beginning of June. We won 89 games to get into the playoffs by the skin of our chinny chin chin with a wild card berth before bumping the Brewers, before sweeping the Phillies out of there, even though it was a gentleman's sweep. It was 4 games to 1. We were 3 games to 1. To get to this point, it's just we unfortunately ran into a buzzsaw that was the Los Angeles Dodgers, with known gambling cheat Shohei Ohtani on the roster, and Yamamoto and Mookie Betts. Betts and Ohtani on the same team. And it's led to a situation that is very uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to just remove myself from the situation, because not only did the Mets lose and not able to get to the World Series, which, like I said, there's nothing negative I could say about this team. It just robbed us of the potential of a Subway Series between the Mets and the Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees, who punched their ticket the other night. And now we will have a World Series matchup for the rest of the country of Yankees versus Dodgers. Now, there are a segment of Met fans that'll be like, well, we root for the Yankees. I'm not even going to cast any aspersions toward y'all. Some would, Smitty from the group on Bergen Beach, but not me. Not me. But also, I'm not going to be rooting for the Yankees. It was a different thing 15 years ago when the Yankees won their last championship and they were going against the Philadelphia Phillies. And I had a dilemma. Do I root for the Phillies to beat the Yankees and have the defending champion in my own division? Or do I root for a home team? Do I root for the Yankees to beat the Phillies? Because at the end of the day, Yankees, 26, 27, 28, doesn't really fucking matter. But still, I don't want the Phillies to get that much that more full of themselves. Because back then, I couldn't stand those mother effers. Still can't, but back then they were a different breed. So I was all about the Yankees. This, something different. Yeah, could I say, I want the Yankees to beat the Dodgers because the Dodgers pulverized us in the 4 games they won? Yeah, I could say that. Because to tell you the truth, the one thing about this series that was very disappointing, if anything, was the fact there was no compelling games. None. Every game was a blowout. The 2 games we won were blowouts. The 4 games they won, they blew us out. There was never a compelling game. To tell you the truth, I want to say, was it 3 games, 4 games, or all their 4 wins? They won. They scored like 10 runs. Like our pitching failed us at the worst possible time. But is it possible that maybe it was just, like I said, we ran into a buzzsaw, but also maybe just fatigue. Maybe just fatigue. I'm not giving any excuses because, like I said, it's one of those rides as a fan that this was much more satisfying. This was akin, even though we didn't end up in the same place, this was akin to 2015 when nobody expected us to get to where we got to. And when we got there, did we expect to win more than 1 game? Yeah. Did we expect to beat the Royals? Yeah. But at the same time, shoot, midway through that season, before we got Cespedes, we were a middling team. This year, it wasn't even so much we had that one big piece. It was just a semblance of piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here. And then we just came together. Lindor just took us on his back and just led the way. Pete Alonso got the monkey off his back. It was one of those seasons that you could look back and say, listen, we're proud. We're proud of this team. This team became a part of our extended family. They raised the bar. They raised the expectations of what to do in the offseason and what to hopefully accomplish next season. This is something we should be accustomed to now. We've gotten to the postseason 2 out of the last 3 years. This season was much more palpable at 89 wins than that 101 win team that limped into the playoffs, lost the division, went into the wild card, and then coughed up the bit, spit the bit against the San Diego Padres. The Dodgers, they got to the World Series. Will they win? Do you know all these years, 12 years of running, they've only got 1 championship to show for all their success, and that was a pandemic championship akin to the bubble. So that year, Los Angeles had 2 bubble chips, one with the Lakers and another with the Dodgers. It was ridiculous, but it is what it is. The Mets came up short, but did they really come up short? I mean, over the course of this series, the Dodgers were the better team. And even though I'm not like Pete Alonso wishing them the best, fuck that. This is one of these occasions in which we can look for the future. A lot of these players might not be back. A lot of these players, they was on 1-year contracts, show improved contracts. Severino, is he coming back? Minaya, is he coming back? Are we really going to make I wonder this. And this is going to be something that's going to be interesting. I wonder. Do you think it's more. Do you think that Soto would be more liable to come to the Mets after a championship, especially if he was the one who got the Yankees a championship, or would he want to come after falling short? Just asking. Do you believe Soto is the type of player that wants the team to be totally his? Because as long as he's in pinstripes, it will always be Aaron Judge's team. But if you think about it, if he comes to the Mets, the way Lindor's played, and especially as the way Lindor has endeared himself to the fan base, it's probably Lindor's team right now too. Makes you wonder. Hold on 1 minute. Had to get my bubbly. But yeah, these are things that need to be taken account of. Uncle Steve, Cousin David, they did us right. They did us right. And I should have more of an epilogue at the end of the World Series, especially if this football season goes down the drain as it currently is. But I just wanted to give a toast to the Mets for a great season. We had so much fun. We had, like I said, we had Grimace. We had to play a pumpkin. We have Tua. We had, oh my God. We had so many things. We had the hideous City Connect uniforms that birthed Grimace. And I still can't stand those uniforms. Can't stand the hats. Can't stand nothing about them. But maybe they were good luck charm after all. I don't know, but salute to the Mets. It was a great year. And here's some more to come. You know, I should not start off this segment with such blasphemy, with such bitterness, with such hurt feelings, but I just came across this article in the New York Post concerning the New York Liberty capturing their first WNBA title against the Minnesota Lynx, who is going for their record-breaking 5th title. And it's entitled "Bitter Cheryl Reeve Blames the Refs for a WNBA final loss to the Liberty in a wild rant. Shit was stolen from us." And I'm going to read this article in full. So nobody can misconstrue exactly what's real and what's ad-libbed. The Minnesota Lynx missed 44 of their 70 shots in a championship deciding WNBA Finals Game 5 loss against the New York Liberty. When their head coach Cheryl Reeves sat down to the microphone for a bitter post-game press conference on Sunday night, she didn't miss anything. All the headlines would be "Reeves cries foul," she said. "Bring it on, because this shit was stolen from us. Bring it on." Reeve had begun the session complaining about the officiating. Sometimes you get away with stuff when you're physical and aggressive. And they certainly did, Reeve said. It's a shame that officiating had such a hand in a series like this. She later expanded. "We know we could have done some things, but you shouldn't have to overcome the officiating to that extent," Reeve said. "This shit ain't that hard. Officiating. It's not that hard. When someone is being held, be consistent. If you don't want to call it on one end, then don't call it on the other. You have a star player like Nafisa Collier. I don't get it. I don't get how she could be held and go to the basket and get hit and then marginal foul at best, since their best player, Breonna Stewart, Stewie, to the free throw line." Reeve finished on a sarcastic note. Congratulations to the Liberty on their first championship. It took them 28 years. Congrats to them. We were that close to our fifth. This bitch. I'm sorry. Because if it was a dude, I would say the same thing. Stop bitching. But I continue. The Lynx were whistled for 21 personal fouls, with Collier fouling out in overtime. The Liberty was called for 17 fouls. After Minnesota's two-point win in Game 4, Liberty coach Sandy Brunello complained about the foul discrepancy when her team was called for 14 fouls compared to the 9 on the Lynx. Reeve also took swipes at the Liberty's previous WNBA sanction for impermissible charter flights, as well as the ongoing investigation into possible salary cap violations by the 2022 and the 2023 champion Las Vegas Aces. Oh, so she's just on one. She's snitching. Built the team within the rules, Reeves said of her Lynx. Those sort of things that maybe right now aren't happening in our league. And did it the hard way. We gave hope to those teams that aren't willing to circumvent the cap or, fly illegally or all the stuff that's happened over the last 5 years, right? And so, do it the right way. Liberty coach Sandy Brunello declined to engage when it was her turn at the podium. I thought it was pretty fair, she said. But look, listen here. I have so much respect for Cheryl, and I have so much respect for the Minnesota Lynx team because, man, that was a tough, ugly win. That was ugly, but we found the way to win. Like, wow. Purr. Now, before I'm accused of being sexist, which I'm not, okay. Like I said, this is not the time nor the place to indulge in such sour grapes. Listen, the game was ugly. I watched part of it because I was split two other ways. I was watching the Mets, I was watching my Jets, and go figure. The team that was on the smaller screen is the team that actually came home with a championship. A championship in which, for all her bitching and moaning, you had every opportunity in the world. You had a 2-point lead with less than 10 seconds remaining in regulation. And Stewie went to the foul line after previously missing both of her free throws and calmly sank both of them to take it into overtime. And then, with 10 seconds left in overtime, she went back to the free throw line, sank another 2 to seal a 67-62 victory. Like, I'm looking up the stats on this game because for all your bitching and moaning, listen to these stats. By the 2 star players, well, the 2 marquee players on the Liberty, because Jaquel Jones was the star. Jaquel Jones was the MVP of the finals and led them with 17 points and 6 rebounds in the pivotal Game 5. Stewie with 4 of 15 from the field for 13 points. 4 of those points came from the foul line at pivotal times, but she had an amazing 15 rebounds in suffocating D and a pivotal block in the closing waning moments of that game. Sabrina Ionescu hit a big three that was needed, but she was 1 for 19. I didn't stutter. She was 1 for 19 in a game 5. I think she was what? Shoot, she was like 1 for 14 from 3. She was worse than John Starks. She only had 5 points. And yet y'all was 10 seconds away from your 5th championship when the 2 marquee players on the opposing team go a combined 5 of 34 for 18 points. But you want to bitch about the officials? Listen, I'm not going to lie. I remember the Lynx with that team, especially when Maya Moore was with the Lynx. That's where y'all got the championship. So maybe y'all should coach Maya Moore out of retirement. Maybe I can get another championship. Instead of dry snitching, talking about salary cap circumvention and charter flights. Maybe if your cheap ass owner would do the same thing, then you wouldn't have no leg to bark on, no leg to stand on, huh? Huh? How about that? Don't get mad because everybody know money walks and bullshit talks. Matter of fact, bullshit talks and money walks. Money talks and bullshit walks. Yeah, that's what it is. See, I finally got it. Listen, as I said at the very, very top, I'm not going to lie. Am I fully entrenched in the WNBA culture? No, I am not. Have I watched in-depthly and deeply every season for the last 28 years? No, I have not. But I will say, I remember I actually kept up with the Liberty in their formative years. Talking about first couple years. We had, like I said, Rebecca Lobo, Teresa Witherspoon, and we would knock on the door ever so often and always get the door slammed in our face. First by the Houston Comets. And multiple times over the years. I remember when Becky Hammond had us on the doorstep of another of a championship. Now that door got slammed. People forget Becky Hammond was part of the Liberty. I believe she was drafted by the Liberty. She was Sabrina before Sabrina, huh? People forget about that. I remember this is when the Liberty actually played games at the Garden, at the Mecca. Now, that little short stretch in which they were playing like in Westchester, I'm not gonna lie, they were obscure just like most of the league, to me. I got back invested in them a little bit when they moved to the borough. I hate the Barclays Center, but still, at least I'm like, wow, yo, they trying to put the squad together. Like, all right, yeah, the Aces got their squad out west. All right, we're gonna be that team out east. Took 2 years, took 2 seasons, but they overcame. They slayed the beast that slayed them last year in order to get to this point, and then they overcame the obstacles that were in front of them to win the championship. And coincidentally, do you know that's the first championship in the city, in the town, in 15 years since the Yankees? And that's something to be proud of. That's something to salute. That's something to tip your hat to. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to let no bit abroad from Minnesota rain on our parade. Will I go to the parade? Probably not, because I'll be at work. And luckily I will not be anywhere near the parade. But best believe Brooklyn gonna show up. Brooklyn gonna show out. Somebody text me. Matter of fact, I know who texted me, messaged me about Fat Joe, Joey Krills. Fuck him. A lot of people jumped on the bandwagon. The last thing I'll say about it on a personal note is this. My daughter, Main Event K, went to a Liberty game late in the regular season. And I think prior to the Olympics. And that was her first basketball game she had went to. And she said it actually got it invested of, like, I mean, because she's not really into sports like that. But she's like, wow, she liked the atmosphere. It helped that they won. And she would be interested in going back to see a game. And you know what? Next season, that's going to be on my bucket list. We're going to go to a Liberty game, me and my daughter. Another thing on my bucket list is to try to get to the Knicks game in the Garden. But if not, I guess I have to go to the raggedy-ass Barclays Center and rep my Knicks there. Hopefully it'll be me, D. Clark, and Money Mike. Because that sounds like something that we need to do as a threesome. As a trio. And also, me and my cousin, we gotta get to the Mecca also. Even though he went to see LeBron, it just so happened the way my schedule is working. The time that LeBron comes to the city, guess what? I would be down to no kakalaka. But anyway, salute to the Liberty. Way to go to bring it home in true New York fashion. Grind it out. Get that chip. No remorse, no regret. And congrats. Well, people, that brings us to the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this here podcast the one y'all choose to view and the one y'all choose to listen to. I should be back next week. Actually, not even at my regularly scheduled time, because guess what? Y'all getting this shit at your regularly scheduled time. But maybe I just will be recording. Probably recording around the same time anyway. But regardless, I'll be back next week. Will it be a full-fledged episode? Who knows? At this point in time, I do this shit on a whim. Yet y'all still get your shit every week. Go figure. I wonder how that works out. I'm about to get into the plugs real quick so I don't string this shit out, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. I got a piece of cake calling me, and pretty much the cake is calling me. And I just want to get to the cake. So, with all that being said, how about this? The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast is available on the following platforms. The mothership, the flagship, if you will, the audio version on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, amongst others. New episodes drop each and every Wednesday. Check me out on the social medias. Check me out on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Mike Steffens _. Check me out on the gram at Mike's Mike_Steph. And check me out on TikTok at Mike Steph _. Cash at me some money, because this $45 is putting a hole in my pocket. Cash at me some money at $Donnie Mike on Cash App. And check out my new blog. Well, not my new blog, but regardless, my blog, MikeStephOrg.wordpress.com, for everything Mike Steph. Some of these episodes that I forget to upload, some pieces of writing when I feel like writing, and maybe another installment of verses that'll never be recorded, but I wrote it down, so I figure I'll share it with the world. Yeah, how about that? I don't know, people probably wondering, what's going on with this? 7 and 10. Why do you have 7 and 10 down there? Season isn't over, because you know what? This season is smelling like another 7 and 10 season. With 2 and 5, we're not going to run the table. We're not going to go on a 9 and 2 record. We're not even going to go 8 and 3. Matter of fact, I'm thinking we'll probably go about 5 and 5. We're a 500 team. And tell you the truth, 500 team right now at 2 and 5 equals 7 and 10, which equals out of the playoffs, and which equals mediocre for the third straight year. So, yeah, Mike Steph, 7-10. I should have known something when I went there and I got wet and I got soaked and I felt the despair in person. I should have known right then and there it's going to be one of those seasons. Anyway, first and foremost, check out my bros. Oh, shit. I'll get to them in a minute. Check out my bros from Gimmick Infringement, Winchester McDowell. They drop each and every late Sunday night, early Monday morning on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group and on all streaming platforms wherever podcasts are available. Check this out.
And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blank. And Tyler, we have been talking for 3 straight hours, and I have no regrets. How you doing today?
Likewise. I'm okay, man. I must confess, the Arizona Cardinals have started and I believe lost a game in heartbreaking fashion since we've started this not this podcast, but our conversation. No, man, you and I, we'll talk about this more in a little bit, but I think as the years continue, it's evident that these are the memories, these are the experiences that I really value spending my time on. We can catch highlights, this is why YouTube exists, but Gimmick Infringement takes precedent, man. Priority Jones.
You know, one thing about Tyler that I admire, he always keeps a positive outlook, because when it comes to teams that suck, he knows a lot about teams that suck. You know, he's an Arizona Cardinals fan. I think they're about the same record as us, or soon to be. They're 2-4. Probably gonna be 2-5 tomorrow. He's an Arizona Diamondback follower, even though he is a Yankee fan. Arizona spit the bit, coughed. It didn't make the playoffs. He's a Phoenix Mercury fan. Salute to Diana Taurasi. And he's a Phoenix Sun fan. Need I say more? So, regardless of all that, check out Gimmick Infringement, especially this week, because I'm going to look right now, since it's on my screen. This week, they will be talking about the Motor City Machine Guns premiering on SmackDown. Andrade and Carmelo Hayes prepping for their 7th match in the Best of 7 series. That wasn't technically a Best of 7. And Jon Moxley's new platform, to new paradigm, if you will, in AEW. All that and more, plus another Rose von Tyler dealing with the Golden Bachelorette. Check them out now. And while we're on the subject of Tyler, we will get to him in a very few minutes, because right now I got to self-indulge. I got to talk about Hidden Gems Football. That's right, Hidden Gems Football, hosted by the Mojo King and myself, Mike Steph. New episodes drop not only each and every Thursday. No. They drop on Thursday. They drop on Saturdays. They drop on Sundays. And at least for this week, they're trying to drop on Mondays. Yes, that's right. We split out episodes to make sure that you got all the news that you can use, the up-to-date news that you can use the day of the Thursday night game. We get y'all ready on Saturday with the Survivor picks and the Sunday morning game. Then we get y'all ready for Sunday night action. And especially when there's a double dose of Monday Night Football, we give y'all that Monday morning satisfaction that y'all need. So please check out Hidden Gems Football, hosted by myself and the Mojo King. You can check it out on YouTube, on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. And you can check it out on all streaming platforms. When I say all, I mean all streaming platforms, wherever podcasts are available.
Say it to you slowly and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Yeah, I don't think y'all can handle that. Matter of fact, I don't think I can handle that, so I'm gonna give it to you.
Say it to you slowly and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Now, back to Tyler. Please check out his creation, his platform, his movement for AZ. And for more, I'll let him tell you.
Welcome to 4AZ. I'm your host, Tyler McDowell Blanken, and we are back with a very special edition. This is our Abbott episode. We are gearing up for Abbott Elementary Season 4, and I brought on one of my best friends, Kevin Paulson, to discuss all of the biggest questions surrounding the season. We are going to make predictions. We are going to discuss the show's popularity. We'll talk about its legacy and much more.
Yes. Please check out 4AZ. 4AZ on the YouTube channel of 4AZ. Hosted, created, curated by Tyler McDowell Blanken. You can check out 4az.org, which is the website that'll give you more information on this movement that he's creating. That hopefully we'll have a 4NY, a 4NJ, a 4VA, a 4NC, amongst other states. This is not only going to be focused on Arizona, but, and no, I'm not a whole fan, but I will use this bar. You got to take care of the world you know. To take care of the world you know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, last but not least, definitely not least, check out my bro from the Chi-Town, Desmond Powell, and Hip to the Games. Here's a little sneak peek.
Today, I am back with another special song breakdown, as last episode featured a breakdown of my first solo track, One on One. Today, it's time to dive into the second one I dropped called Kemba Walker, paying homage to one of the best bucket getters across the NCAA and NBA. And I would say while One on One was definitely the more intense track, more so bringing the kind of energy one would have in a one-on-one battle, Kemba Walker is more of the mindset behind what goes on the court, if that makes sense.
Congrats to Desmond Powell for dropping his first two official meaning on streaming platforms. But regardless, I feel like anything that you create and you put out to the masses, anything you create, period, is official to me. But One-on-One, Kemba Walker, available on all streaming platforms. Beautiful songs. So the last two episodes, he spent breaking them down and giving you a little insight into his psyche on how he developed both songs, developed both concepts. Man, it's brilliant. This week, he gets back to Hip to the Games, which in this episode, I'm going to read verbatim what he put in his own writing. In this episode, Desmond reacts to the Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle trade before discussing the pros and cons of the deal for both teams. Additionally, he expresses his excitement and offers analysts on the Kings adding veteran scorer DeMar DeRozan to their roster, and ends the episode sharing 3 scenarios around the league that he hopes to see improvement from the previous season. Enjoy, and please share your thoughts. Thanks for all your support. Hip to the Games. All streaming platforms of podcasts are available, and in visual form on the YouTube channel of the 19 Media Group. And you know what? I need to stop slipping, and I need to create a banner for Dez. And tell you the truth, more importantly, I need to actually holler at Dez and try to make some time and tell him, like, yo, I mean, it's already been an open invitation. You already told me, yo, it's on you. I just need to make that happen. And hopefully, being the fact that it's the beginning of the season, probably sooner than later, going to get Dez on Salty Thoughts. And we'll have a salty / hip to the game combo episode. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And yeah, I think Tyler's pretty much due for another appearance. And I got one up my sleeve that I'm not going to reveal quite yet, but it's already in the works. And even though I haven't been talking about wrestling lately, I think this would be something that all my wrestling heads out there would be very, very interested in watching and listening and hearing and supporting. So neither here nor there. Let me get out of here because I'm kind of rambling. And sure, I'm not used to doing these full-length episodes anymore. I ain't gonna lie. But it's like 2:30 in the morning. And like I said, this cake is calling me. It's calling me. It's calling me. And I got to into my caller. So with all that being said, I'm getting out of here. Goodbye. Y'all got anything to say? Cloudy, Stitch, Jetty? Nope. So, and I'll take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.